ICT senior and junior workers begin 1 week warning strike. On the front, in UK, Ukraine and others dismiss Putin's election victory. Details now. Thank you for staying with us. The World News at 12 begins with the tragic development where terrorists on Sunday night kidnapped 87 people after launching a fresh attack on the Kajuru Station community in Kajuru local government area of Kaduna State. A member of the Kajuru Station youth, Harisu Dari, confirmed the incident today in Kaduna. Harisu said the terrorists invaded the village around 10 p.m., breaking into shops and stealing food items and other valuables. The attack came barely 2 days after 15 women and a man were abducted in the Dogonuma community of the same local government. Kajuru and the Chikun local government areas had in the past 2 weeks become the hotbed of kidnapping, causing tension in the state. Harris explained that no contact has been established yet with the 87 locals abducted on Sunday night. The terrorists have kidnapped over 172 villagers in 2 weeks. Meanwhile, the federal government is in talks with the World Bank to complete the processes of obtaining over $1 billion loan to address the challenges facing internally displaced persons, IDPs, and their host communities, as well as bolster rural access and agricultural marketing in the country. The request is contained in a recent World Bank document titled Solutions for the Internally Displaced and Host Communities Project and Rural Access and Agricultural Marketing Project Scale Up. Accordingly, while the IDP's loan is put at $500 million, the Rural Access and Agricultural Marketing Project loan is estimated at $550 million. The fund is expected to provide help to communities in Nigeria badly affected by insecurity. This is primarily due to the ongoing conflict involving Boko Haram, as well as other factors such as banditry and conflict between farmers and herders, leading to the displacement of over 3.5 million people. Soldiers deployed to Okama community in Ughelli South local government area of Delta State have continued raising more houses in the community following last weekend's killing of several military men on rescue mission to the riverine community. A community source who spoke to journalists said the military are currently occupying Okama and that several houses had either been razed or demolished. Meanwhile, the Nigerian military yesterday deployed armored vehicles to Bamadi, headquarters of Bamadi Council, over the killing of military personnel and peace and rescue mission in the community. This is even as President Bola Tinubu ordered the military high command to fish out those who killed the military officers. The state governor Sheriff Oborowori has condemned the killing of the officers and soldiers, describing it as despicable and alien to the culture of Delta people. On its part, the Pan-Niger Delta Forum, PANDEF, led by Ijo leader Chief Edwin Clark, said the act is totally unacceptable and must be fully investigated. In a recent development, the Federal High Court in Abuja has ordered the Binance Holdings Limited to provide the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) with a comprehensive data or information of all persons from Nigeria trading on its platform. Justice Emeka Nwite granted the interim order after ruling on the ex parte motion moved by EFCC's lawyer Ekele Ihanacho. The interim order was granted to enable the anti-graft agency to unravel allegations of money laundering and terrorism financing against Binance, a cryptocurrency exchange platform. In the affidavit in support of the motion deposed to Bahama Bello, an operative of the EFCC, he said he was attached to the Special Investigation Team (SIT) of the Commission domiciled in the Office of the National Security Advisor. Bello averred that following the inauguration of the Technical Committee on Currency Stability and Forex Manipulation by the Office of the National Security Advisor, the SIT received an intelligence stating the nefarious activities, including money laundering and terrorism financing on Binance. Bello, who said the matter was of utmost urgent public interest, said the data provided would enable the Commission to accomplish its investigation activities. He said it was in the interest of justice to grant the application, as refusal of the request would largely hamper the Commission's investigation. Meanwhile, members of the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities and the Non-Academic Staff Union have begun a nationwide strike today over alleged unfair treatment and disparity in the payment of salaries by the federal government. Last Monday, the unions threatened to shut down hostels and power supply in universities across the country if the federal government fails to meet its demand before today, March 18. The national president of the SSNAANU, Mohammed Ibrahim, said his members, including vice-chancellors, registrars and bosses, have not been paid 2022 arrears. Meanwhile, the Minister for Education, Professor Tahir Maman, stated that he was unaware of the union's planned strike. However, during the TV morning program today, Ibrahim declared that the strike has started. Well, now joining me to discuss this and other issues on the World News at 12 this afternoon, I have Mr. Aki Fatike. Mr. Fatike, are you with me? Good morning, good afternoon, rather, Mr. Fatike. Hello there, good afternoon. Mr. Aki Fatike on the line. He is a political and national affairs analyst to discuss issues in the news this afternoon. Welcome to the World News at 12, Mr. Fatike.
And nice to be here with you, Chairman. Good afternoon, Nigeria.
Thank you so much for joining me. It is always a pleasure to have you here. Let us begin with, oh my goodness, Mr. Fatike. Issues of insecurity is giving Nigerians sleepless nights as it is right now, because we wake up every other day and what's in the news, it's always there's been an attack somewhere, bandits attacked so place, so number of people have been killed. And the question I've been asking up to this point is, many people say that these kind of things cannot happen in other places, because when they do, the people will definitely rise up the next morning to demand accountability from the government and from the security agencies. Have Nigerians become so immune to this kind of news that we don't even make so much noise about it anymore? Terrorists kidnapped 87 people just yesterday, just last night. I'm talking about 10 p.m. last night while men slept. Bandits, terrorists were busy kidnapping people. 87 people gone in Kaduna State. Now, I need you to recall that Kaduna State is where we have we have our defense academy there, right? If I'm not mistaken, we have security architecture in that place. How come they are so brazen to just walk into Kaduna State? Recently, they took over 200 children, pupils, really, into the bush. Now, 87 people have been kidnapped. What really can we do so that these issues of insecurity will be reduced to the barest minimum? Because it's not even fun. It was never funny, but now more than ever, it's not even funny anymore.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Once again, you've gotten from bad to worse, and I think it's something extraordinary begins to happen. But before I give my prescription, I want to say that for the innocent, okay, that's your name, from the innocents who are feeling the pinch of this unhappy situation, my heart is them. My heart prays with them, and for the other majority who have their hands, their legs all entangled of economic malfeasance, business malfeasance, I should say, that is bedeviling us. I think they, more than most, don't have my sympathy. I think we have the unusual hands. Happened for the opting time. The last time you and I had a discussion, I made a point that as we are speaking, more is likely to happen. What is happening? So what and what should not. I was the governor of Kaduna State, and other governors have all met. Mr. President, as the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, has, in my honest opinion, just one thing he has to do now. He has to do it very quickly. We have to declare a state of emergency in that state as a starting point. Declare a state of emergency for limited periods, and then let the governor, who says he knows, well, he allegedly knows where some of these people have been taken.
Mr. Fatuke, will that actually help? Declaring a state of emergency in Kaduna State on insecurity, will it actually help?
My opinion, yes. Otherwise, this will just continue. I am, as a communicator, I am trying to tell you that, the things going on there is not something you can imagine. And I see the deliberateness. I see situations where other non-state actors plus terrorists are holding sway. They say they will come and they will go. And then you can't guarantee life and property. Yes, I know it well. We also have a chain of reactions, as the case might be. Capture that number of people, just like that, come back and capture some other one. They'll come back and capture some other one. And then they will be demanding millions and trillions. Putting all those children in that kind of situation, please, high time this stops. If it is going to be okay, it's not going to be okay. Look, it's not taking an action, taking it decisively. It's not going to be enough. It's going to be my own prescription. It's going to be my own suggestion. And that's the way it is.
Mr. Fatuke, while we're looking at that,
the fact that everybody is getting out of hand. I'm sorry. It should be the last resort, but we may not have a choice.
Okay, while we're looking at that, right, there are reports that the federal government is in talks with the World Bank to complete a process to obtain about $1 billion loan from the World Bank to address the challenges facing internally displaced persons, that's IDPs and their host communities. Now, one part of the loan, that's about $500 million, is to help IDPs. And the other part, about $550 million, is for what they called a Rural Access and Agricultural Marketing Project. Let's look at the $500 million that's meant to help IDPs and help to address the challenges facing them and, of course, their host communities. How do IDPs come about in the first place? It is from attacks like this, where people get displaced from their ancestral homes, where they then have to be moved into camps with other internally displaced people. So we have people who are refugees in their own country. And we recall that it was in Borno State about a week ago, or almost 2 weeks now, where almost 300 women were kidnapped by bandits and taken into the bush. 300 women in internally displaced camps as well. This $500 million now that they want to receive from the World Bank as a loan, should it not rather be channeled, into where things that would actually stop this insecurity, rather than saying, let's use it to help IDPs, which is a good initiative. But what if we tackle the root cause of this insecurity so that people don't even become displaced from their fatherlands in the first place? I mean, imagine being a refugee in one's own country.
Again, Choma, I tell you, go take loan to look after IDP camps, go take loan to buy additional to Kano, go take loan to do this, to go take loan to do that. We are just fighting at the surface. The real problem is the fact that this country is divided. It's divided down the line. And there is a need that we make it in short term to all sit down together and put the idea as an entity in the middle, and we discuss this country objectively. It's not something that the federal government can do alone. I'm not sure it's anything that the state government can do alone. The same thing that we are all looking at the same vision, the same mission, and we have the same values. We must look Nigeria critically and take a decision on how we want to govern. I appreciate a little effort here and there that's going on. I say for sure, I can't put my finger on it, that the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, perhaps working under the stages, some kidnaps that happened somewhere, also up top. I don't know if ransom has been paid, or if the people that's gone on one way or the other. They release all the female adoptees. If that is the possibilities and they will not let us know, I want, like tomorrow, or the children that captured the release now, for the specific loan that we are talking about, can we have a report today? Can we have the National Assembly so can we make this very critically? There is absolutely no need for us to be throwing money at something that we know at the end of the day will go down the bottomless pit. Good money stays out bad, economic theory. They must get to it. We go to be a consensus, we're going to be paid. Can we now look at it and talk face to face to one another? I will look at law and that, don't argue proof. Lead by example, quote unquote, according to our law, both at the federal and at the state level. All the security boards that is based on some of the governors, can we begin to now look at it? So we can come first, everybody's hungry, everybody's angry, they're feeling insecure, we are feeling unsafe. This is time to discuss Nigeria. This is time to now make bold statements, make bold moves. We are not talking about second term or not second term or whatever it is. Just something that is good for Nigeria. We need to now look at that very critically. Now, the loans, I will look at them, the one that we are taking, how did it end up, how transparent was that? It's going to be professional in which case so and if it is a loan that we are going to take, like the banker looks that comes back and says, look, we are going to make it to be a particular project we are going to put in, and then like to put a project that then start people come again and then start the whole thing. Democracy is not working for us, I'm afraid.
If democracy is not working for us, then what else should we do? Should we go with the suggestion of some senators that we should go through the parliamentary system of government?
Oh, well, whatever it is that we bring into the free now may not work for us because we don't have the mind to make it work. We are too highly divided in a way. And the way to begin to speak to the problem is begin to have good governance, is begin to do things according to the rule of law, try to make sure that we have equity and fairness in everything that we do, and again come to the table and say, look, this is what we have voted for ourselves, this is what we have been enjoying, so we put it back on the table. So as we speak, universities are about on money strike. What is that telling you?
Yes. It's part of our conversation, Mr. Fatunke. The non-academic staff say they want to be treated the same as us.
Because it's off the table. We can't continue to go on in this way. And I said, yes, I know things that good things are not easy. It can't be easy. And the first thing for us to start to give by example. Okay? Let's bring back some of the things that we have ordered as a man for ourselves and bring it back into the form. Mr. President and your executive. The National Assembly, the state governors, let's all get back. The attempt that we are making, legal taking, doing fantastic, very trying to get food hubs, even though it's still in fit and stand. Abia State is coming on back, coming and shining and saying we can bring light. Okay, Zoom is trying its best. Can everybody now begin to do the same and then leave the whole concept of putting everybody together around the table? Let's get the national confirm. Let's put it out there again. Let's begin to debate on state police. Let's begin to see what's going to happen. The Okama thing that is happening in Delta State. Look, All I'm saying, things are going at all sides, and a good samurai, a good captain of the ship, knows where to say, hey, wait a minute, let's put it down. I just described to you now that for a state that continues to get individuals captured and nothing is capable of being done about it, despite the fact that we have military formations here and there. Is that not telling you that we have the hands and the legs of everybody all involved to make that state and perhaps Nigeria ungovernable? That's correct. Look, when you have diabetes, it is true that you have to cut off certain areas, have to find a way to cut. Then so be it. I know I'm sounding very fatalistic, but my mind and heart goes out to people who are innocent and who are facing all this. Okay? You even make an argument and tell me, and you'll be right, Ijeoma, okay, right, that is happening in Kaduna, so what is going to happen in your state, for instance? I we are not having elements of that in the southwest. What's going to happen in Lagos? What's going to happen in Southeast and all that? So what then do we do? And I said the final thing is governance. Whether you are going to decide to make it a parliamentary thing, you are going to make it one unicameral legislator, kind of legislature. So we can, yes, there are ways to do it, and under a chief, we'll get together and decide to do it. It's going to be resource control. So be it. Is it looking at our population and saying that we have to do something about this our population and this IDP term that is springing out here and there that is now turning into a cesspool of another form of business? So be it. If Nigeria cannot unitedly look at the same vision under the same kind of values and God, then we can go our separate ways without necessarily shedding blood and decide what we are going to put in the center.
And so at the end of the day, the only panacea for the insecurity that we are witnessing and experiencing in Nigeria right now is better governance.
Is better governance, did you say? Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Yes, I asked the question. Following what you said, it would seem that the only response, the only panacea for the insecurity we keep experiencing and hearing about in the country is better governance. Because it seems even good governance isn't working.
Better governance, more accountable governance, people who have been saddled with the responsibility of securing us, they all been lined up somewhere and told and given a deadline. Go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it. What needs to be done? Again, you may say it's extrajudicial. I like what Mr. President did concerning Okama. I like it because he said it is not acceptable. I'll give him matching orders. Okay? Yeah, the matching orders might, at the end of the day, get to more priorities for people who are innocent. At the end of the day, but it will cost benefits. And then look, we can't allow the country to fall into the hands of these parties. Otherwise, what are we talking about? Got to rise up. You are going to be very unpopular. There's no doubt about that. You may not win a second term, and so be it, but we leave yourself with a legacy. And by inference, the political and the politicians, people who are looking at it from the side, saying, you're not doing it well, you're not doing it well. It's more than you saying you're not doing it well, it's coming with concrete action plan. Because if that center does not hold, for 2027 we won't have any place that we are going to govern. So all hands have to be on deck. Elite consensus, those who are not doing well, who have been given the matching orders, so be it. And then maybe I can just put a little cover to what I said before. The governor of Kaduna State clearly may not necessarily be the if this will continue in the next 2-3 weeks, where these people have been sent into, you better go and talk to your elders, go and talk to your people, go and talk the language you have to them. Otherwise, under 2-3 days, there will be state of emergency. People are going to sit up. People will sit up. Good governance, bold, responsible leadership, bold, responsible, unselfish attitude towards it, and finally, accept the fact that Nigeria has become unwieldy. It is not something that can be controlled from a unitary, because that's what we are practicing at federal. Unitary control. Let everybody come together and then let's have these discussions. Since we can't have elections and we can have a consensus. Whoever wins this election, the other side will not say, no, I'm going to make a place of governable. Is that a country? Is that a place where we say we have a vision? Let's wake up and spend the coffee. The earlier, the better.
Thank you so dearly, Mr. Egwuatu, for joining me on the World News at 12 today. As usual, your analysis and presence has made all the difference on the news bulletin today. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Ijeoma, and remain on top. Remain safe. I like you to be safe.
Thank you, and you as well. Thank you so much. Have an amazing day. You're still listening to the World News at 12 right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. On the foreign scene, friends and allies of Russian President Vladimir Putin were quick to congratulate him on his election win, but Western leaders from the United Kingdom, Ukraine and others have denounced what they called an illegal election. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky dismissed the result as illegitimate, saying everyone in the world understands that this person, referring to Putin like many others throughout history, have become sick with power and will stop at nothing to rule forever. Britain's Foreign Minister David Cameron said the illegal actions feature the lack of choice for voters and no independent monitoring. Italian Foreign Minister Antonio Tajani said the elections were neither free nor fair. But Beijing congratulated Putin, saying China and Russia are each other's largest neighbors and comprehensive strategic cooperative partners in the new era. Foreign Ministry spokesman Lin Jian said President Xi Jinping and Putin will continue to maintain close exchanges to lead the two countries to continue to uphold the long-standing good neighborly friendship, deep in comprehensive and strategic coordination. Former Russian leader Dmitry Medvedev responded long before the final results were due to be announced, congratulating Putin on his splendid victory in the election on Telegram. Bosnian Serb leader Milorad Dodik said the Serb people welcome the victory of President Putin with joy, as they see in him a great statesman and friend on whom they could always count. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro said the older brother has triumphed, which bodes well for the world. But Czech Foreign Minister Jan Lipavsky called the election a farce and a parody, saying this was the Russian presidential election that showed how the regime suppresses civil society, independent media, and opposition. And that's it on the World News at 12. Just before we wrap up, let's take a look at the top stories again. You heard that terrorists have kidnapped 87 people in fresh Kaduna attacks. Federal government in talks with the World Bank for $1.5 billion fresh loan. Troops occupy Okama community, raise more buildings after soldiers killed, and non-academic university senior and junior workers begin 1 week warning strike on the foreign scene. UK, Ukraine, others dismiss Putin's election victory. And that is a wrap on the World News at 12. My name is Ijeoma Egwuatu. Please follow our social media handles at GOP903FM. For coverage of your live events and brand news mentioned on the news bulletins, do send the mail to news@voiceofthepeople.ng. Good afternoon, and thank you for listening. Do stay tuned. Up next is Matters with Ikami Jude.